Firstly, I'd like to take a minute to respectfully acknowledge the traditional landowners, elders and custodians of this land, in particular the Gunditjmara people of Warrnambool, southwest Victoria. I am proud to honour the traditional landowners and value this place of shared learning. I recognise the historical impacts of the past, and as a Curtin University representative, we are wholly committed to reconciliation and strengthening an equal partnership that will honour the past, present and future. Hi, I'm Hannah Newson, a first year Fine Art and Visual Culture student. In the film Blood Diamond, 2006, we see how the presence of a valuable natural resource within a weak civilization can cause devastation when minority groups are influenced by the power and wealth they can bring. I'm going to be discussing the visual representation of the minority rebel army, the Revolutionary United Front within civil war-stricken Sierra Leone, and the negative representation Blood Diamond portrays that intentionally comments on the devastation caused by the international diamond trade in Sierra Leone. This will involve considering the presence of diamonds in Sierra Leone and how through unethical international trade, diamonds were a central element, enabling the devastating and brutal uprise of the rebel minority. Although I acknowledge the main issues Blood Diamond represents, that being the international diamond trade as a central factor enabling the growth and dominance of the RUF, I will also highlight that the depiction in Blood Diamond is lacking certain exposure of some key elements which also contributed to the rapid growth of the RUF, and as a result, its dominance over Sierra Leone. As the visual imagery is key representation of the film's portrayal of the RUF, I will conclude by drawing upon the emotional response evoked through the tactical use of visual imagery and portraying the film's representation of the rebel minority. So considering some of you may not have seen the film, to help you understand the context, I'll show you the trailer for Blood Diamond. This will illustrate the context for which the international trade of diamonds enables the RUF to take over villages and implement their brutal campaign. I will ask you to pay close attention though to the visual representation of the rebel army in particular during the trailer, as that will be the focus of my discussion.
It came from the heart of the earth. A stone so rare, men will do anything to possess it. And all who touch it are left with blood on their hands.
A diamond is my ticket out of this God-forsaken continent.
So what are you? Smuggler?
You're a journalist. Sometime you're here to make a difference, huh?
And you're here to make a buck?
You know, in America it's bling bling, but out here it's bling bang. Where did you bury it? The only reason you're still alive is because you haven't told anyone where it is.
You will find it for me. My son! Where is my son?
What if I helped you find your family? That makes us partners!
I am not your partner!
You're using him.
I'm using him, and you are using me, and this is how it works.
You're gonna steal this diamond.
I am his father! I must go find him! You gonna show us where it's hidden?
That diamond is the only chance he has of getting his son back.
What if I wanted to go with you?
I don't give a damn who's down there. Kill them all!
Give it to me.
Tell him where it is! Tell him!
My family, my home, I don't lost everything! I will find you. If it takes my life.
So blood diamonds are also known as conflict diamonds, and according to the United Nations, conflict diamonds are diamonds that originate from areas controlled by forces or factions opposed to legitimate and internationally recognised governments, and are used to fund military action in opposition to those governments. The RUF is represented blatantly throughout the film as participants exploiting the international trade of conflict diamonds. This is represented through the forced slavery of captured civilians in the diamond mines. We are also shown explicit imagery of soldiers of the RUF trading with main character and diamond smuggler Danny Archer, played by Leonardo DiCaprio. And we can immediately identify the RUF as advantaged both through wealth and power from the blood diamond trade. The concept of conflict diamonds and their contribution to the impact of the RUF on civilians can be explained as a vicious cycle. Sale of conflict diamonds brings wealth to the RUF. This wealth in turn finances weaponry and arms. It's these arms that enable the takeover of villages and the capture of men and boy civilians to work either in the mines or be brainwashed into the army. The cycle then starts again as the prisoners mine diamonds to trade. International trade of conflict diamonds is represented as a key revenue raiser for financing the war crimes of the RUF. You can see how some have pointed to the international trade in diamonds as the most important element to understanding the war. However, in addition to these opinions, I would like to alternatively suggest that diamonds are not the most important element in understanding the war. Yes, the international trade of diamonds did financially enable the brutal uprise of the RUF, but there are also local contributing factors that increased the effective takeover. These are discussed by O'Brien, 1996, being a lack of integral governing order, resulting in poor quality of life and a lack of opportunities for education or quality of life in the future. The underdeveloped state of Sierra Leone during post-colonial struggles left the quality of life for youth lacking. There was little direction and little motivation, and this left much of the youth disaffected and unable to resist the recruitment into the strong direction the rebel group proposed. And although not portrayed as a central concern in Blood Diamond, the visual imagery of the cultural and lack of communal development paved way for the rapid uprise of the Revolutionary United Front. It is the imagery of child soldiers in particular used in the film that represents the RUF as a minority capable of inhumane injustice. I would like to show you a scene that encapsulates the negative imagery of the RUF that's represented and the ugly portrayal of this minority.
Make you invisible to your enemies. Bullets will bounce off.
Hey yo, buy a beat, you rather say it out loud. It means the land is great, so we gotta work now. We gotta come together, bind together, so everything possible just to be together.
Superboy killer, yes, Comando. Foreigners are the cause of the problem. Confessar overflows those who would exploit you.
The baby killer. I am the master of disaster.
You will destroy them.
I am water trouble. I am seeing you no more.
The scene presents the lifestyle of the rebel army as something similar to a party life with no rules or regulations. This symbolises the rebel beliefs opposing a governing body of order and structure. Opening with the leader injecting heroin into the arm of a child soldier, this acts to shock us into believing the reality of the situation for these children. Among other shocking images, such as children smoking marijuana, dancing and wielding weaponry, the visual imagery evokes a strong emotional response from us as the viewers, and we empathise with views as similarly discussed by Shepler 2005, that child soldiers are a particularly devastating operation of the RUF. The visual imagery of child soldiers in particular used in the film represents the RUF as evil dictators instilling terror in the population while executing hideous acts of cruelty and propaganda. The strong use of negative visuals in the film is an integral part of the representation of the RUF. Shocking imagery of the minority rebellion evokes an emotional response from the viewer, which leads to the development of opinions rejecting those of the RUF and conforming with those represented in Blood Diamond. I'll finish up by concluding that Blood Diamond portrays a confronting but realistic image of the RUF's role in the 1990s Civil War in a fragile post-colonial Sierra Leone. Blood Diamond uses scenes of brutal violations of human rights to represent the devastating effects of how an immoral campaign pursued by a minority within a vulnerable people can escalate to civil war proportions when a valuable natural resource is prevalent in a fragile civilization. The use of visual imagery represents the negative view the film portrays and the social commentary it is illustrating. This effectively leads the viewer to hold similar opinions as the film is portraying.